What's up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here. In today's video, I'm going by badge of all the finishing badges of NBA 2K20, and I'm explaining how to make them fair. Some badges are way too overpowered, and some badges are basically useless, and I want to go by each one and say how to fix it for NBA 2K21, hoping they do that, right? Before this video starts, be an OG, join the Pack Nation, and subscribe. Also, after finishing, I'll do shooting, playmaking, and defending after that. Okay, here I am in the badges for all finishing badges on my player. So, there are some badges, as you can already tell, some of them are already pretty good, some of them are not even touched. But I'm going to go one by one and tell you how I should think they should be fixed. Already off the bat, Acrobat. Boosts ability to make layups that have a high degree of difficulty. This is my beef with this badge, is that it lies to me.
Why you always lying? Oh my god.
If you play this game enough, you know that doing reverse layups are pretty cheese, but pretty important situations. If you're getting clamped up, you need to have the reverse layup in your bag. Acrobat is supposed to help with that. I feel that Acrobat does not change anything. Maybe it boosts 1 or 2% the more you do it, of the possibility of making it, but I feel like from no badge to Hall of Fame, there is no difference in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. I think that it needs to be more involved, or if I don't have the badge, I think I should make it less often. That's how I feel. That's how they need to fix it. It's just make it do what it says. If I have it on Hall of Fame, I shouldn't miss it that often. If I don't have it, I should miss it basically all the time. That's how I feel. Back down Punisher. I feel that this badge is basically perfect. As long as you have max strength and you have this on Hall of Fame, you can basically back down anybody.
Basically, no harm.
So this is one of those badges where I feel that it doesn't need to be touched at all. Same thing goes with consistent finisher. Another badge that I feel that it does its job. It reduces the penalty for poorly released layups. Now, the thing is, I feel that timing doesn't matter too much this year. I've literally tapped square on accident with no bar and hit a layup that was contested. So I agree that the fuller the bar, the better chance you're making it. But if you don't fill the bar at all, you still have a pretty high chance of making it anyways. So it kind of just depends on what kind of layups you're taking. So I guess maybe make it a little more important, but for the most part, this is a badge you kind of want for silver at least. So I feel like it's a good enough badge. Contact finisher is perfect. I don't even think it's overpowered. I think it does exactly what you would expect it to. If I'm driving and I'm trying to get a dunk with a low dunk rating and I'm trying to get a poster, I have contact finisher on Hall of Fame and I'll get it way more often than when I don't have it. When I don't have it, I don't even get posters. I mean, I feel like this is the badge that was one of the few badges in this game that was perfectly made. I don't think it needs to be touched at all. Now, cross keys scorer. This one sucks. This one straight up is terrible.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
This badge doesn't even pop up, first of all. It doesn't. I don't even know any situations when you can really use it. And I mean, seriously, very few people even do layups across the paint. Think about what that's saying. You're not shooting layups going into the paint. You're not going for layups going baseline to the paint. You're going for layups across the paint. There's very few situations you're ever going to be doing that. So I feel the cross key scorer has to basically be for not only when you're going across the paint, I think you need to do it across the baseline or something, because this is not a good badge at all. I think it's one of the worst badges in the game. Yeah, I think the only way to fix it is that if you go across baseline, it pops up more often and it helps you make it a lot more often. Deep hooks. Another badge that I feel is perfect. Deep hooks are already kind of broken in this game. Unless you're a Glock that has all these badges to stop post hooks, the post hook is absolutely ridiculously overpowered this year. I hit post hooks with my interior force at the free throw line, even farther out. So yeah, this can't be a thing. I think it's fine. I maybe even knock it down a little bit because I feel like sometimes it gets a little too broken. Drop stepper. I think a lot of people can agree that this badge is a little too broken this year. If you're a center, drop stepping the post, for some reason it completely yeets your player away from your defender, and then you can poster anybody with a hop step dunk in the post. No, I'm okay with there being hop steps, but you're completely pushing the player completely away from the defender where it's not even fair. I think that if you do, okay, maybe if you do the hop step, it'll push you away from the defender. I think that's fair. But you shouldn't be allowed to poster everybody easily, or just do I think the chance of you making a drop step or hop step dunk in the post should decrease when using it, but your ability to drop step increases. Does that make sense? Fancy footwork. I feel that this badge is fine. I know a lot of people think it's broken because if you do hesitation hop steps going towards the rim, it can be pretty annoying. I feel like this badge would be fine if other defensive badges were fixed. Until then, if they don't fix those badges, I think same thing with drop stepper. If you're gonna do fancy footwork, the chance of you making it after shouldn't be higher. It should be the same. So if I do a hop step, yeah, it can separate me, but I might not make the layup or the dunk, right? Fast break finisher, I feel is very underutilized. A lot of people don't score in transitions anyways. I guess the only time you really get a score in transition is leaking out.
In transition, Wade finds James!
So I guess it works for the most part, but there's so many badges that are way more important that I wouldn't want to use this badge. Does that make sense? I only get maybe one transition dunk in a Pro-Am game, well 3v3 Pro-Am game, or a park game, maybe like once, maybe twice. So I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, I'm assuming if you have it on Hall of Fame, it's gonna give you half the takeover meter. So I feel like it's a fine badge, but I think that the problem is there's badges that are more important than this one, but I feel like the badge is fine. I think it should increase the chance of you making a basket in the fast break situation, I feel like. Now on Giant Slayer, this one is perfect in my opinion too. If you're a guard, you have a higher chance of making it on centers. This is another badge that you really don't need to touch in my opinion. Okay, lopsided finisher is another badge that I feel like is perfectly fine. It can be a little too overpowered. I really feel like lobs this year are kind of annoying. So I do think that this would work perfect for players or they don't have athleticism or size or all that stuff. Like short guards that can't dunk really well would have this on Hall of Fame and can catch lobs more often. Same thing with centers that don't have a high vertical. They can also use this a lot more often. I feel like that makes more sense. That's fair. To make it fair though, you can't just be able to poster everybody in lobs. You need to be able to body block people. If I'm guarding you and they throw a lob, that doesn't mean an automatic dunk every time. It should be body blocked more often. Pick and roller. It's another badge that I feel like it's fine, but it needs to increase the shot percentage a lot more, because if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna get this badge over other badges, it needs to be worth it. So another thing is pick and rolls. I mean, it's almost an automatic bucket usually, because if I'm gonna pass to you in a pick and roll, that means you're wide open. So if I'm passing you to, so I feel like this badge needs to be more important when you're being contested. So if I pass it to you in pick and roll, you have a higher chance of dunking on somebody or something like that. I feel like that would make the badge a lot better. Pro touch, it's a very good badge. It's kind of like the volume shooter. This is a very good badge. I mean, a lot, especially for bigs that like have poorly timed layups in the post contested. You have pro touch, you have a way better chance of making it. I've literally made 100% smothers with pro touch on Hall of Fame. I mean, I feel like this is really the badge to go with as a center. So I like the badge. Put back boss. I feel like putbacks don't even happen this year. Like they're pretty rare occurrences, putbacks this year. I think that if you're gonna have it on Hall of Fame, I better do it a lot more often. So I feel like to make this badge better, it needs to increase the amount of times you get a putback or not, because it like rarely ever happens this year. Relentless finisher. This one's very controversial. It reduces the fatigue effects from continually finishing at the rim with contact. The problem is I don't feel like fatigue is that big of a deal when I'm finishing at the rim in the first place. So why would I need this badge then? Like my player's not getting that tired, really. So if that's the case, then I feel like Relentless Finisher should do more than that. I think you should increase your percentage of making contested layups or something like that, because it's not good enough of a badge to really want to use it. Showtime. So it boosts teams takeover meters after completing a highlight play. If I do a nice dunk or a posterizer or maybe a clutch shot, that's a highlight play. The problem is what they determine in the highlight play is very iffy. It's not common enough to make it worth it. So what they should do is either increase the range of what they consider is a Showtime play. Like if I'm doing a fast break dunk and I do a 360, that should be a Showtime play, not just a poster or something. And also, it shouldn't be a little bit of takeover that's increased. Everyone should get a lot of takeover if I'm doing a crazy dunk. That's how I feel. Celebrity Finisher is a really, really good badge, and I wouldn't consider it broken either. I feel like it does exactly what you'd expect it to do. I think this is one of the most perfect badges in the game, and I don't think it needs to be touched at all. And then Teardropper. The only problem with Teardropper is that no one really uses it. I mean, especially when you pull back on the right stick, sometimes it's doing the park animations for layups instead of a teardrop, and I just feel like teardrops, you really don't see it this year, at least compared to last year. It's not even good. It doesn't even work that well anyways. So I think if you're going to use Teardropper, you should be able to do floaters from really far out. Like if I have it on Hall of Fame, I should be able to do a floater from like the free throw line and green it, like possibly, because I know the timing of it, right? Like if I'm going to waste my badges on Teardropper, it better be worth it, right? Now that's my opinion on the badges of NBA 2K20 and how to fix them for the next game. What do you guys think? Do you guys think some badges I'm right about, some badges I'm wrong about? Leave it in the comments below. And if you like this channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.